Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q1 FY22 conference call of Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Snyder Albuquerque from Adfactors PR. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Janice. Very good evening to everyone. I would like to introduce Mr. Roopant Singh, IAS, Managing Director of GMDC, Mr. H.K. Joshi, Senior General Manager, Tech, GMDC, Mr. A.K. Makhadia, General Manager, Tech, GMDC, Mr. Rajat Das, General Manager, Marketing and Sales, Ms. A.K. Iyer, General Manager, Accounts, and Mr. Joel Evans, Company Secretary, GMDC. Over to you, Mr. Singh, for your opening remarks.
Thank you so much. Friends, thank you so much for joining in such large numbers. This is a new beginning of sorts for us for this kind of an interaction which hasn't happened for a very long time. I'm here with my team of the production, marketing, sales, and finance. This quarter we've done better than what we did last year. Yes, it's marginally better only. We would like to hear from you. Over to all you friends. Any questions? They can be directed to me, to the gentlemen who have just been introduced. Please, over to you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question-answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Amit Dixit from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening everyone and thanks for taking my questions. First of all, thanks for organizing this interaction. We and this community have been looking forward to such an interaction because after the results it becomes very difficult for us to analyze the numbers or to get an idea about the company's strategy as such. So thanks so much and I hope you will continue this particular interactions like this post results. So I have 3 questions. The first one is on your volume target for FY22 and FY23 and it would be great if you could let us know the specific mine-wise targets.
Over to Mr. Joshi.
This year we will produce lignite about 74 lakh tons and next year projection is 90 lakh tons.
And mine-wise?
Mine-wise distribution is Takeshwar 18, Rajpari 8, Matanamad 28 to 30, Bhavnagar 25 or so.
Can I add in, this is Roopant. The production from Rajpari would be extremely constrained because of the geological conditions there, but we are going to significantly ramp up the production in Bhavnagar in the coming quarters and significantly more in the coming financial year.
Okay. So, sub-part to this question. In the past, we have seen our sales volume peaking out in FY18, maybe at approximately 10.6 million tons, and since then we have seen unilateral decline. So, I mean, if the number that you're saying 74 lakh ton and 90 lakh ton, I mean, we would not be reaching that FY18 number in next, at least till FY23. So, first of all, just to understand what really went wrong, I know, one of the Perandro mine, for example, has been kind of, it is depleted. But other than that, is there any specific reason why the production went down significantly? And what specifically are your strategies for increasing this production?
Can I begin the answer and then my team can take over? Well, nothing went wrong. Perandro, the mainstay, closed. The reserves were exhausted. The demand for the Bhavnagar asset, where significant investments were done over the year, that did not pick up. And for Matanamad, Umarsar and other projects, there's not an issue. So there is no issue that which has constrained the production per se. A project has gone down, another project is going to rise, and in the coming years we're going to open new projects also. More of that later. Mr. Das would like to interject.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Das, General Manager Marketing and Sales of GMDC. Actually, to be very specific, let me answer the other dimension of the declining trajectory. And the contributory factor is that we used to supply to our captive power plants, and you can see that during the year 2017-18, when the production was at peak, that is 106 lakhs per annum. So at that point in time, the share to both the captive power plants was 39 lakhs, and last year the supply to captive power plants went down to 17 lakhs only, and these are the which used to be supplied to the power plant at a very different pricing mechanism, and so that they don't add so many revenue to GMDC. So in that case, GMDC's revenue comes from the other segment, that is directly sold to the consumer. So that has not been by and large affected. That has affected, but not significantly, and that is picking up.
Okay, thank you. The second question is essentially, in the recent times, we have seen that the price of substitutes, like natural gas, for example, more recently this week has gone up significantly. Imported coal prices, we all know, have gone up, and even Coal India indicated in their call that e-auction prices would go up. So in this scenario, are we also going to take a price hike? And if so, I mean, how much would it be?
Well, we are going to adopt a dynamic pricing mechanism, which is more in line with the realities of the alternatives available in the market. Yes, we have stood by our commitment to the small users of lignite in the state of Gujarat by keeping the prices under control in these difficult years, in these past one and a half years. But now we're going to adopt dynamic pricing system. When, how, what, that we shouldn't be sharing here. But yes, it would be.
Okay. And the third question is that we did take, not in this quarter, but in the last quarter, we took impairment on ATPS, Akrimota Thermal Power Plant. So what were the key assumptions behind it, and why is the PLF so low when we have seen PLF of other thermal-based units picking up?
Can I request General Manager Account, Mrs. Iyer, to reply to that?
Good afternoon. This is Anupama Iyer, General Manager Accounts. Last year we took the impairment because our power project, our Akrimota Thermal Power Station, had incurred cash losses. So we get the study of impairment losses, and accordingly we booked the losses. The power plant is under overhauling, and we are planning, we are in a process to appoint a consultant so that we can drag out the options, what we should do with the power plant, whether we should revive it or what. We are in the process to appoint a consultant so that we can take a proper decision about the power, our Akrimota thermal power station.
Okay, that is helpful, ma'am. I have few more questions, but I will come back in the queue. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anuj Sharma from M3 Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Just in continuation to the earlier participant, most of our mines are down 40 to 45 to 50% in some case from their pre-production. Now, could you just help us with what is the residual mine life in each of these mines? And is the demand a bigger issue than the production or vice versa? That's my first question.
Can you repeat the first part of your question again? There were certain ratios you were mentioning, we couldn't catch that.
Yeah, I'm saying most of the mines are down by 40 to 50% from their peak production in terms of current volumes in FY21. So I just wanted to understand what is the residual life of these mines, the existing mines. And second is also, you did explain, but is there a more demand related issue or there's a production related issue? That's my first question.
I'll request Mr. H.K. Joshi to reply to that.
Last year we were facing due to both issues due to Corona, and a lot of our industry and consumer were closed down. Now the economy is open and things are getting better.
Sir, even if I go back a year in FY20, our production again has been steadily coming down. So I understand FY21, but it's been a steady decline, as the earlier participant also raised, that it's been a steady decline over multiple years. So again, I can understand FY21, but is there some structural issues in terms of life of mine or viability of any of these mines?
Yes, in 1920, Panandro gets adjusted, and we started enhancing the production at Matanamat and Umarsar. So now onwards, it will be improving.
Okay, all right. My second question is on again the power plant. As Madam just answered, our PLF has come down from 65 ranging to 33.20 and now 13. We did employ KEPCO for some time. Are we still using the services of KEPCO, or have we already shortlisted some of the new consultants? And is there some persistent or structural issue? When can we decide we have to close down or straight this power plant?
No, Anuj, we are not using KEPCO any longer. We have become experts from the electricity department and the PSUs controlled by them. There is no structural issue. It's a good asset, but because of a certain PPA and historical reasons over the decade or so, it's not turning out the kind of profit that it should have been. So we are going to take a critical decision on the future of this plant in the coming months, very soon, by seeking top-notch expert advice.
All right. But if you say there's no structural issue, even in the best years, which was 2015-16, the PLF did not go beyond 65%. So is there some constraint in terms of optimizing the PLF out here?
Well, it went up to 68 at certain points of time because of its peculiar geographical location. The turnaround, the attrition of employees, now these were issues we faced, and because of that, the stability we could not get it. But so that is it.
All right. Just on my first question again, would you have your estimate as in terms of what is the estimated mine life of the 5 containing mines right now?
Well, each mine is different, Anuj. Each mine is different. For example, Bhavnagar has a very long horizon. Rajpardi has the shortest horizon. And assets like Matanamar, Umarsar, and Tadkeshwar, they lie somewhere in between.
Okay. And my last question before I come back, see, if we see the cost of product or cost per ton of extraction, it has increased by a CAGR of 10% in the past 10 years. It is far higher than the increase in realization and inflation. So what's been happening in terms of cost of extraction per ton, and what is the outlook there? Because the whole profitability seemed to be wiped out because of much higher increase in cost of extraction.
2-3 very important factors. I would request Mr. Makadia to reply to those questions regarding the rise in cost and the different factors that are applicable.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm A.K. Makadia. The primary rise in the cost of extraction was mainly due to the sudden increase in the price of the diesel. That was the primary factor. Apart from that, the stripping ratio of the mine, that is the number of trucks waste we have to remove for the production of 1 truck of lignite, has slowly increased with the life of the mine. These are the 2 predominant factors why the cost of production at different mines have increased.
All right. It will be helpful if you could give an outlook, because if this is the cost structure, then it will be difficult for us to be profitable at whatever cost volume of production, right?
Anuj, can I reply to that? Because yes, our variable costs have been rising. Our variable costs have been rising. The stripping ratio has started becoming quite adverse in a few of these mines. We are going to get more realistic with our pricing so that the company does not suffer a long-term damage. Yes, we have had very conservative pricing in this pandemic era, but gradually we are going to change it.
All right. Just one more add-on. These cost escalations have been is equal or proportional in on the mines, or it's been very high in some of the mines and very low? I mean, is it equitable, the increase in cost of extraction?
Well, we look at the company average many times, but I'd like Mr. Makadia to reply to that.
Depending on the geography of the mine, the cost of production varies because different mines have different topography and geotechnical conditions. So, say for example, the mine in South Gujarat will be operational for 8 to 9 months, whereas the mines in Kutch will be operational for more number of times. So this cost will be varying from mine to mine, especially because of the geology of the mine.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants, if you have a question, please press star then 1. The next question is from the line of Vaibhav Bajatia from HNI Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thanks for providing the opportunity. So just wanted to understand that earlier there was a change from turnkey contracts, basically combined contracts for overburden removal and lignite volume, and which was changed actually to separate contracts. Just wanted to understand what is the rationale behind that decision, and which are the mines which are in these kind of contracts, and which are the mines which are still in old separately price-driven contracts.
I request Mr. H.K. Joshi to reply to that.
Only one MDO tender has been allocated at Matanamar. Rest of the mines is running in orthodox turnkey project. And at present, we are not having any plan to switch over. Thank you.
Okay. So basically, you are saying only Matano Mud has the combined overburden and or a separate overburden and lignite removal contract. That's what you're saying?
Earlier, Matano Mud was working on turnkey contract.
Okay.
Now it is remodeled on MDO mode.
Okay, got it. And sir, on the just a small fundamental thing I wanted to understand. So under the new Mining Act, what would be the price that GMDC has to pay for the allotment of new mines? Because as we understand, the to the private parties there is an auction process and they have to pay the price accordingly. But for PSUs, for state PSUs, there is a allocation process and we can get preferred allocation there. So under that route, what would be the price that we have to pay to get that preferred allocation?
Well, we being a PSU, we acquired assets and through the allotment route, and that is where it stays.
Yeah, but that was in old era. In new era also for this allotment, we don't have to pay any price or something. I mean, any kind of comparable benchmark what private players are going to pay.
I'd request Mr. Das to comment.
Good afternoon. That's a good question actually, but there are two modes of extension of an asset, and we being a state government PSU, there is a provision in MMRD Act 2015 that some of the blocks or assets are reserved for us, and in that case we don't have to follow those auction route. So in that case, there is no extra burden to GMDC in getting allocated any new assets.
Oh, that's quite interesting. Interesting to know. And sir, lastly, on the lignite supply to Bhavnagar, from actually Bhavnagar mine to Bhavnagar energy power plant. So I think the Bhavnagar energy power plant has been commissioned, if I'm not wrong. The subsidiary that we have sold, that plant has been commissioned, or it has not yet been commissioned?
Actually, this plant, Bhavnagar Energy Company Limited, has been taken over by Gujarat State Electricity Board, Gujarat State Electricity Company. Now they have their own mines also at the captive mines. So they have started production from their mines, and they are consuming the lignite from their mine itself, and they are no more taking lignite from us.
Oh, okay. That helps. Thanks a lot for clarification.
That resource, can I say something? And that resource is freed up for allocation and direct sales to other customers, primarily in Saurashtra and South Gujarat.
Got it. And sir, as far as the pricing, you indicated that previously, we need previously there was no dynamic pricing, but now there will be dynamic pricing. So just wanted to understand that whether it will be going forward, it will be auction-driven price, or how the pricing will be decided. I mean, will it be a portal and different players will auction, and then there will be market-determined price that will happen, or you will just yourself decide based on the alternates available to consumers?
I believe we should not be sharing that here, but we will be taking care of our small scale customers, and we would be engaging more deeply with the larger players. That is all I can say at the moment.
Okay, sir. Thank you. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to all participants to please limit your question to 2 per participants only, as we have many people waiting for their turn. The next question is from the line of Abhijit Mitra from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, thanks for taking my question. So, just to understand a few things, one of the reasons for cost escalation was that as we moved away from, from the existing mines to the new mine, or rather as the closure of Panandro happened and we were trying to ramp up Mercer and Mata Nomad, I think one of the key issues that we faced was, the overburden removal expense, because it was the lowest overburden mine as far as we can remember. And we were supposed to move to a, MDO-based contract to offset that impact. Because in the mix, the extent of overburden removal expense was increasing a lot. So did we make some progress on that? That was my first question. Second question was that there are also, seen issues with Bhavnagar and, hard strata issues with Talkeshwar, if you remember correctly. So those things have been resolved, or those things can still come back to sort of impact us?
So I'd request my colleague Mr. Makadia to reply to that. And you can take the second question first, the Talkeshwar one, and go to the first one later on.
Regarding the Talkeshwar hard strata or the hard strata at the whole mine, the issue has been resolved. The issue was very old, I think 4 or 5 years back. This was the issue. As of now, there is no issue of hard strata. The same thing is being in operation by the existing contractor. As of now, hard strata are being encountered, but are being dealt in time.
And the first question, you can reply to that. Abhijit, the first question, can you briefly summarize, because we've already talked about the MD operator that we have at Mata Nomad. What is it that you want to know? That question is not very clear to all of us.
No, actually, the move away from Panandro led to an increase in overburden removal expense, actually. So how to counter that?
The mix. This is a geology, how the deposits are there. With the passage of time, say for example, when Panandro was operational, the stripping ratio was around 4 to 5. But with passage of time, at that time the ratio of 1:10 was considered uneconomical. As of now, the ratio of 1:15, if the quality of lignite or coal is good, is considered economical. So this is the with time and the product price. But to counter or to reduce the stripping ratio will be through balancing with a new mine, and we will try to optimize the stripping ratio of GMDC in general, so we should have incremental growth.
Abhijit, is that all right? Does that answer the question?
Yes, we can. I'll come back in the queue.
Excuse me, sir.
Anup, you're online.
Yes, sir, you are. Mr. Mitra, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does. Come back on the queue. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanket Karadia from RS Investment. Please go ahead. Sanket Karadia, you may go ahead with your question, sir.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Sanket, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. My first question is, could you give us some guidance on utilization?
Pardon, we missed that. Can you repeat, please?
Can you give us some guidance on utilization, on capacity utilization for the next 2 years?
Capacity utilization of the power plant or our lignite assets?
Yeah, lignite assets.
Mr. Marketing, can you please?
Regarding capacity utilization, this year, as informed by Joshi sir, we will be producing around 74 lakh tons. Next financial year, we will be reaching 90 or plus. And next year,
increase the production. So will be almost full capacity utilization of the production capacity of GMDC within a span of 1.5 years.
Okay, thank you. My second question is on the financials. Is there any guidance on what we are planning to do with the cash on book?
Can I give a broad reply? Madam can interject later. My GM accounts. Sanket, we have 6 new legalized projects lined up, and 3 in Kutch and 3 in South Gujarat, which have been allotted to us. We have an expansion of capacity at Bhavnagar project lined up. So these are the areas which are going to take in significant investment on all fronts, all project-related expenditure. But this significant investment would all be coming back. Anupama, would you like to say anything?
Yes, sir. In addition to that, we are also in process of this one in the process to judge the viability of hybrid plants, solar renewable energy plants, so that if they are viable and they give us a better realization. We are in process to so that we can assess their viability, and if they are viable, we can put them more. We can go for expansion in our renewable energy plants also.
Sanket, can I compliment what she just said? We are progressively moving towards a project-based cost center approach, and we would like to leverage our assets, principally land, to give us additional revenues in that project from non-conventional sources. We are in the process of engaging a fairly reputed advisory firm to help us achieve that.
Understood. So this one last piece, is there something where we could speak more about our ESG initiatives as well?
Pardon? Which initiative?
ESG. Do we have some commentary on ESG?
Yes. We have a special. We have a vehicle for it. It goes by the name of GMDC Gram Vikas Trust. The trust has not been able to. It has worked well, but we would like it to work more professionally. So an overhaul of that trust is on the card, and I'd like Mr. Joshi to comment on other dimensions also. He's worked on many projects.
As far as environment is concerned, we are taking care of environment. We are having 200 megawatt wind power, 5 megawatt solar, and we are going to put more solar power plants in the backfield area of Olma. As far as safety is concerned, or social responsibility is concerned, as MD sir has said, we are going to tie up with all CSR bodies of Government of Gujarat and remodeling the CSR work done by KMD.
Yeah, please. Mr. Das would like to also add in.
Good afternoon. Actually, I will rather like to add one more dimension, because as is evident that mining is an industry where we used to alter the original virgin land, and actually in our effort, we are engaged in an activity whereby we can actually develop that original land, reclaimed land, into fertile lands, and that can be useful for the community in large. And we are moving in that direction, and for developing those areas, huge chunk of areas, because as it is mentioned earlier, that we are having so many assets and they are spread over so many hectares of land area. And land is one of our primary assets, and as a social responsibility, we need to return those lands in a form which would be better than the form in which we were actually given to do mining activity. So we are moving in that direction, and in some projects we are getting encouraging results. Apart from that, we used to install a number of arrow plants at our mine so that our reject water can be treated, and that can be also eventually be utilized for this for the project's internal use as well. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. So if I may just squeeze one last question. You mentioned some of the assets that we're going to be using the cash for. We don't expect any inorganic acquisition here, right? So we're looking at all greenfield.
Yes, all greenfield projects.
Okay.
Three in Karnataka, 3 in South Gujarat.
Understood. Thank you, sir. I'll come back in the queue.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tanuj Mehta from Mehta Investment. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have a couple of questions. So my first question is, sir, like in the next 3 years, can you let us know the key projects in the lignite and what are we targeting in terms of capex? Followed by if you could quantify the volume growth for different major minerals like lignite and bauxite for us for the first quarter. And so the last question would be, what are your current realizations, and would that be sustainable for the coming quarters and even for the year as well?
So we're not very, as far as the capex is concerned, this is Anuj, we'll be sharing it progressively as our projects move ahead, because a significant part of it would go in Bhavnagar, as I had said earlier, and in the newer projects. For the second question, I would request Mr. Joshi to jump in. Growth in the coming years, 3 years. All right, sir.
Mr. Mehta, as far as our policy is concerned, almost we can assure you 10% growth every year.
Okay.
And
10% growth in revenue, production. It might be more in revenue or EPS rate.
And for the third question, I would request, for the realizations part, I would request Mrs. Anupama to please.
Quarter 1 realization, after results of quarter 1, we had increased prices at some of our mines. And in future also, as per our cost, if our cost increase, will be required to increase the prices. If the costing requires to increase the thing, definitely we'll do according to our costing as well as the costing of alternate resources in the market. Looking at both the situation, we'll do that.
On this realizations and pricing, Mr. Mehta, can I say something? We have, when I have joined, we have also got a very dynamic and new chairman. That gentleman was responsible for the turnaround of the JNFC and other state PSU a couple of years ago, Mr. Rajiv Gupta. In the past board meeting, the board has collectively taken a decision of unshackling the administration or the management on the pricing decisions, and that is the way we are going to move ahead. We take a look at our prices every fortnight, and you just follow our pricing fortnight-wise. You would see better realizations and realistic realizations.
Okay, I understood. Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering all the questions.
Thank you, Mehta, sir.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants again, please limit your question to 2 per participants only, as we have many people waiting for their turn. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Poladia from Girik Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, as you said, you have a substantial investment lined up. Could you quantify the investment for this year and next year, and what are the projects that are lined up?
Ritesh, we'd not like to quantify it at this moment. We'll be doing it progressively.
Sir, is the capex plan finalized, or it's still in the process? Because if you want to do the capex, say, this year or the next year, at least that should have been finalized by now.
It is spread over a time period of 2.5 to 3 years. And the ball has been set in motion by the last board meeting, where these 6 assets have been declared as new projects. Hence, the planning and everything has been set into motion. Does that answer the question?
But sir, you are not quantifying any of the capex. Sir, how do we anticipate what are the growth for the company?
Yes, we would be. In the next meet, we would be quantifying it and progressively letting you know how we plan to go about it.
Sure, sir. Sir, there was a RFP given for the strategic consultancy. So, what are the broad contours of those consultancy? In which area you would like to grow?
Well, I'll speak a few lines about the RFP. The RFP is essentially designed to engage the kind of firms who are advising top mining firms globally and in India. They have a number of things in their bouquet, and we are looking at increasing efficiencies, decreasing costs, streamlining operations, having a better marketing strategy, having a better system of apportioning our costs, and if we get the right partner, progressively in the coming quarters, you should see good results.
Okay. And by when this entire exercise will get concluded?
The award of work to the consultant should be over in the next month. And they have the assignment is designed like a 3-month conceptual strategy plan and 9 months of active involvement in helping us implement it.
Okay. One final question. What is the status of that fluorospar beneficiation plant?
Currently, it is shut down.
Okay. That's all from my side. I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Devesh Shah from Pragya Equities. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, Devesh.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is particular to our MD. Continuing from the last question regarding RFP. Sir, this is the best thing. I think management should be congratulated for creating the value for the company as well as for the minority shareholders. Sir, I have gone through your RFP proposals, and in your proposals you have mentioned that you are inviting global mining experts. And sir, in our company, Government of Gujarat holds about 74%. So, are you ready to divest some of the portion to the interested party, or like a PSU disinvestment? And if it is yes, then how much you will forego? How much you will disinvest to the genuine party?
I would say only 2 things. Thank you for appreciating our effort, and to the second, the answer is no.
So you are not giving any strategic sale?
No.
But sir, in proposals you have written that strategic sale will be given. So you will be having, kindly, if you can elaborate, can you have a JV with that partner? Suppose some experts will come. So how it will add values to the company, sir? Can you please elaborate? I think, sir, this is the best thing that has ever happened to GMDC after the incorporation of the company. And if we can take this forward, this can really change the fortune of the company. So if you can please elaborate, sir. And my congratulations to you for such a wishful thinking. Thank you, sir.
So the idea is very simple. We have our advantages and we have our blind sides. We are a state government PSU and hence the advantage and hence certain blind sides. So in our attempt, we are going to listen to the people who advise multi-billion-dollar mining companies achieve efficiencies, improve their balance sheets, improve their profitability, and whatever happens in the journey would be part of it. It could be a JV, it could be a new process, it could be a new plant. So whatever happens, that would be part of the journey. But our goal is to increase the value of whatever you hold by following systematic advice.
But sir, are you open for any minority disinvestment, suppose 20%, 30%, anything like that? Because central government finance minister has told the state government can divest their PSUs to get the cash. So is there our vision?
No, we appreciate your question. The answer is again no. Number 3, we are not short of cash. We have adequate reserves to fuel our growth.
Sir, I highly respect that we have got the case, but sir, as far as...
May I please request you to rejoin the queue for your follow-up?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question is from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor & Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah, धन्यवाद sir opportunity के लिए. Sir, firstly, if you could divulge more about this RSP proposals where we investors can have an understanding, and also sir, the board meeting highlights which you were articulating to earlier investors query, sir. If these 2 points.
Such a very simple request. Go to our website. It is a pop-up, and the RFP is up on display. Have a look at it. Just read the pages on the scope and the terms of reference. You will get a very good idea of what we plan to get advice on. Very simple.
Okay.
Very simple.
Sir. Right, sir. And sir, and the appointment of the chairman is for what tenure, sir? Mr. Rajiv, sir?
He is not only the chairman of GMDC, he is the additional chief secretary of the Industries and Mines Department. And at the moment, he is the second most senior most officer in the government of Gujarat, and has an exemplary track record.
Yes, sir. GNFC is an example for investor community to get an hindsight. What changes can be done at the helm when the topmost person is like Mr. Rajiv. Sir, just to get to the point, if we take our last year numbers, the entire financial numbers. Sir, mining activities have not contributed greatly to the bottom line. It is much more of the finance income. So how and by what time does this proportion going to change? Even for this quarter, sir, we had finance income of closer to 32 crore on a bottom line of 44 crore. So just wanted to understand when is this proportion going to change? The mining activities start contributing much towards the top line and the bottom line.
So one brief answer in the coming quarters and in the coming year, and for a detailed reply, I'd request Mr. H.K. Joshi to further elaborate on it.
We are in process to increase the price. We are identifying the cost center. We will put dynamic pricing at that cost center, and we will see that as the top line has been improved, bottom line will also improve subsequently.
Sir, didn't get the last point. No, hello.
Huh?
Sir, please repeat, sir. I didn't get your point, sir.
I am repeating, we are identifying the cost centers, we are increasing the prices there. As the top line has been increased, our bottom line will be improved subsequently.
Okay, and when will that results will flow, sir? When are we going to see those things happening? I mean, what is the gestation period for which we investors have to?
That will be an incremental growth. Since we are looking after our small customers also, it will be an incremental growth.
Right, sir. And sir, lastly, on the last quarter, the loss of impairment on property plant of about 400 crores. So could you explain and what is the nature of the same, and can we expect everything has been cleaned up now, or anything more can happen going forward, and what led to it, sir, this 400 crores impairment?
I'd hand over to my GM accounts, Mrs. Anupama.
Last year, the same was provided on the properties of Akrimota Thermal Power Station because that power station had generated cash losses. It was a one-time exercise, and we don't expect any new impairment in the coming year.
Lastly, and one more question, if I could squeeze in, about the mining activities. If we take the total mining assets and the minerals mined last year from the various mines, if you could give, sir, the proportionate of the mined quantity and the percentage which we have mined. If we could look at by up to what scale the mining activities can go up, and what portion of this mining activity will be through the MDO route, sir?
We can give you an approximation of what we will be doing this year. I'd request Mr. Joshi to do that.
Do you want production data of the production projection of this year?
Sir, firstly, sir, what we have done for last year and what are we planning for the current year? Both.
Yes. Last year we have done 66 lakh almost. 60 lakh almost, and this year we are planning 74 lakh.
Sir, does that answer your question?
No, 60. I didn't get the numerical number, ma'am. Just once again.
Last year we have produced 60 lakh ton lignite, and this year we are targeting 74 lakh ton plus.
74 lakh, and we have done 20 lakh for the first quarter, sir. So that
already we have produced 20 lakh in first quarter, 11.86 in till date yesterday, and we are going ahead. Last month we have produced maximum lignite in the last 5 years. That was the best month in last 5 years.
Okay. And what factors have led to this improvement, and sir, what is the price change that has happened in the selling price realization? How have the realization changed, sir, or moved up?
It will be incremental increase. We are, as our MD sir has said, we are going for dynamic pricing, and it will be incrementally done.
So I can answer on behalf of my team. It is because of good efforts by my technical team and especially our production head, Mr. Makadia. The credit goes to him, and the clear intentions of the management. And please watch our prices every fortnight.
Right, sir. Because for this quarter, the numbers what I've asked first question was that it is not from the operations that the bottom line is, it is from the finance income. So that was my question. How are realizations going to shape up that this will compensate it, that we will be more from revenues from operation rather than from the finance income?
Agreed. Second quarter को हमारे results दिखेगा. We hope to do better.
ठीक, और ये ग्रेजुअल सर एक ट्रेंड दिखेगी अब हम लोगों को. हमने काम जो पहले हम करते थे उसमें कुछ चेंजेस लाए हैं बिजनेस करने के तरीके से या प्राइस रिवीजन में.
Entire marketing and sales infrastructure has been overhauled. You should see changes in the coming weeks and coming months.
ठीक है सर. Yes sir, I will come. Yes ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity and all the best to the team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We take the last question from the line of Abhijit Mitra from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. I had one bookkeeping query. If I look at your other expense of 434 crores, how much of that would be overburden removal, clean energy and power and fuel? If you can break it up for me, it would be great.
Could you please repeat the question? My team accounts will be taking that.
Yeah, sure. I'll repeat. The other expense of 434 crores for the quarter. Can you break it up into overburden removal expense, clean energy cess, and power and fuel expense?
Yeah, clean energy cess has now been renamed to GST compensatory cess. It is 400 rupees per metric ton on the lignite dispatch. And
overburden removal expense.
Overburden expenditure itself, which is accounted 80% of our total expenditure. And if you want the breakup, we can send you over the mail what was the total overburden expenditure, and we can send you the bifurcation. Bifurcation if you want.
Sure. And what's the formula for mine closure that you are following now?
Mine closure expenditure we are looking at the approved mine closure plan.
Okay. But what would be the run rate and all? 20-30 crores per quarter, thereabout?
Sorry?
I mean, what would be the run rate? Around 20-30 crores per quarter?
Here for mine closure, it is around 45 crores. 45 to 50 crores we are required to book on annual basis.
On annual basis. Okay, great. Thanks. That's all from my side.
We take the last question from the line of Amit Dixit from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for providing me the opportunity again. I have two quick questions. The first one is on the, is it possible to bifurcate, to let us know the sectoral breakup of volume in FY21 and what is your target for FY22 and, in medium term? Even a broad, percentage breakup would suffice.
I believe it's there for the quarter-wise results, Amit. I believe it's there. I believe it's there for mining, power, interest income. I think it's already there.
My question is that in lignite, how much did you supply to power, to tiles industry, to textiles, and your other customers? That kind of.
I'll request Mr. Das, Marketing and Sales, to answer that question.
Good afternoon. Actually, I can share the historical data, and out of total volume, we used to supply 36% to our captive power plant. Then the major customer is dyeing and printing sector, industrial sector. That accounts for 26%. These are all based on certain. And there are paper mills 7%, ceramics 6%, bricks 7%, chemical industry 9%. A major supply is to captive power plant, thereafter paper and printing and dyeing.
And I would request Mr. Das to give you an overview of the geographical spread of this also, regions of Gujarat.
Yeah, actually to substantiate that question, actually we are currently hooked with around 1,500 customers, and amongst them 43% of our customers is located at Surat, 34% at North Gujarat, and 17% at Saurashtra and 6% at Kutch.
Okay, that's very helpful, sir. Also, I went through the RFP and one of the items is, that you want to get consultants' advice on the power sector opportunities. Now, our experience as far as power has been concerned, whether it is renewable or non-renewable, has not been that great. In fact, in your commentary also you mentioned that on the surplus parcel of land you might explore non-conventional power sources. So just wanted to understand the thought process behind it, because so far our experience has not been too great. So what do you think can change essentially?
I'll be very clear in this. Kutch district is a national hotspot when it comes to non-conventional energy. The wind speeds, the solar glare and everything, that is the best destination. And that is the same place where we have significant land assets where mines have been closed or covered up. So, and please add to it our attempt to look at every project as a cost center. So we'd like to optimize everything that is there. So it's an attempt in that direction. If the financials are not right, if the right pricing is not there, if the right tie-up is not there, we would not go ahead. But the attempt is to make every project a profit center.
Wonderful, sir. Very helpful. Thanks a lot for providing the answer, and all the best.
Ji. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Roopwant Singh, Managing Director, Gujarat Minerals Development Corporation Limited, for closing comments.
I have only a few things to say. We are fundamentally a strong company, and at the same time we bear a lot of responsibility in catering to the energy needs of the smaller players and the slightly larger players which are located geographically at diverse locations. With that in mind, we would like to increase our bottom line. The top line is going up, as my officers had said. Kindly keep on watching our quarterly results, and the earnest efforts to take good advice to do better are out in the open, on which many of you have commented. Hopefully, the answers that we gave, the interaction that we made was useful. I thank all of you in such large numbers for showing such interest. Thank you again.
Thank you. On behalf of Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining. You may now disconnect your lines.